On Sunrise and streaming on crossroadstoday.com. One of the counties in the crossroads to get the force of a tropical storm was Calhoun County. Water levels are expected to linger through Friday. And a pretrial hearing for the man accused in the Amanda Johnson murder case starts today at the Matagorda County Courthouse. Plus, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un welcomed Russian President Vladimir Putin with a grand ceremony on Wednesday.
And what's been on everybody's mind, Tropical Storm Alberto is going to be making landfall in northern Mexico any minute now. And that's going to continue bringing us here in the crossroads plenty more scattered showers for today and tomorrow, bringing us possibly some more flooding rainfall totals. We'll take a look at that in the weather coming up.
Texas A&M Aggies headed to the promised land for the first time in school history. I'll have that coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Carolina Astrain.
And I'm Parker Cox.
And today it's the 20th day of June 2024 and the time is now 6:31 on our Thursday morning and it is Tapas Day. Are you familiar with tapas?
No, you have to inform me.
So it's a Spanish style kind of appetizer. In Mexico we call them botanas and basically it's like having a meal but of all appetizers. So little like crostini sliders, olives.
That sounds like right up my alley because I love appetizers. Honestly, sometimes I like the appetizers more than the entree when I go to some restaurants.
It's nice for dieting too if you don't want to eat too heavy.
That's true. That is also true.
Well, Parker, what is on tap, not tapas, but what's on tap for us today?
Well, for your Tapas Day, what's on tap for us in the crossroads is more rain. Yes, believe it or not, we've got some more scattered showers coming our way going into later this morning. And actually, we've already got a couple showers out there right now. We're going to look at that radar in just a second because right now, if you're tuning in with us this morning, you're looking live in Victoria. In fact, you can see some of the taller clouds out there this morning, kind of out in the distance. Some of those cumulus clouds are going to be tall enough to produce the showers that we will see here in just a second. Right now, it is still plenty warm, though. Otherwise, 77 degrees here in Victoria Crossroads, and your humidity is at 100% right now. And that's because there was a little bit of rain falling in the area and our vicinity, and that's because rain evaporates once it hits the warmer air underneath, and that turns into water vapor, bringing you high humidities this morning. And in fact, looking at your radar as promised, you can see just a couple isolated showers out there this morning. Nothing really in terms of like heavy rain, a couple maybe moderate showers going to Refugio and also just now entering east of Edna this morning. But other than that, we've still got plenty more showers to come today and even tomorrow as well, with an uptick again later this weekend because Tropical Storm Alberto, yes, it's official, tropical storm, that's going to be making landfall here in Mexico. And this is the current spot of it right now. I'm talking it is like just a few miles off the northern coast of Mexico this morning. That's going to be making landfall here, like I'm talking any minute, bringing us in the crossroads, the outer northeastern bands of that system, which is going to bring plenty more moisture and showers going into the next 48 hours. But then I'm going to zoom out here. Your eyes do not deceive you, folks. There is another tropical circulation that will be developing in the Gulf right around the same area Tropical Storm Alberto formed, and it will be taking just about the same track as you just saw right there. Same track as Alberto possibly going into next week. We're going to have more details on that later because you can see all the warnings and watches have all disappeared except for the small craft advisory and also the coastal flood warning because we're still going to get another good flooding rain today. Not too bad as it was yesterday, but other than that, winds are not going to be too bad. Still going to be breezy between 25 and 35 miles an hour along the immediate coast. Y'all can see about 40 miles an hour, but today I might recommend the umbrella again because, like I said, you could see plenty more scattered showers still to come. Going to bring our rainfall totals again between 1 to 2 inches for today. And that's why we have an alert day for today. Before tomorrow it cuts off and the rain goes away and the sun comes out this weekend. And we're going to take a look at all of that and more in just a few more moments. Back to Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. One of the counties in the crossroads getting the force of a tropical storm was Calhoun County. We stopped by Magnolia Beach to take a look at the flooding there. Magnolia Beach almost entirely covered by water. This footage shared with us by our reporter Darius McCormick, who is standing in ankle-deep water on what should be the shore. The south side of the beach closed and completely flooded. Some residents could not access their property. Calhoun County continues to face a tropical storm warning with water levels expected to linger through Friday morning. Come to crossroadstoday.com/weather/alerts for more information on flooding in your county. Conditions also continue to worsen in Matagorda. The beach road to Matagorda Island is flooded and has become impassable. Authorities advise people to stay away from the coast in Matagorda and Sargent. Many roads are closed and most roads have water near or over the roads. No power outages have been reported as of last night, and everyone is asked to consider any down power lines as live and dangerous. Several counties in the Crossroads part of a disaster declaration issued by Governor Greg Abbott. Calhoun, DeWitt, Goliad, Jackson, Lavaca, Matagorda, Refugio, and Victoria counties are in the disaster declaration for Tropical Storm Alberto. A pretrial hearing for the man accused in the Amanda Johnson murder case, Fernando Acosta Jr., starts today at the Matagorda County Courthouse. Acosta turned himself in to the Matagorda County Jail and is now out on bond. His bond was set at $500,000 on Sunday, April 18, 2021. Over 3 years ago, the Matagorda County Sheriff's Office found human remains in a burned-out 2018 Ford Explorer. They confirmed the remains to be those of Amanda Johnson. And here are some of the top headlines you can read in the Port Lavaca Wave. The Port Lavaca City Council approved a plan for a new speedy stop and reappointed several board members. And Calhoun County Commissioners approved an engineering agreement for a new pavilion at Bill Sanders Memorial Park. And Port Lavaca celebrates 50 years of Juneteenth festivals. You can read these stories and more at theportlavacawave.com. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un welcomed Russian President Vladimir Putin with a grand ceremony on Wednesday. Putin arrived ahead of summit talks where the two leaders have pledged to develop their nation's ties. Putin's first visit marks his first trip to the North Korean capital in 24 years. It comes at a time when both countries face international isolation, so it could likely be a visit that reshapes decades of relations between the two nations. A new flashpoint this morning in the separation between church and state. Schools in Louisiana will now be required to display the 10 Commandments.
This morning, Louisiana has become the first state to require the 10 Commandments be displayed in public classrooms, from kindergarten to publicly funded universities.
If you want to respect the rule of law, you got to start from the original lawgiver, which was Moses.
Governor Jeff Landry signing the bill, which requires a poster-sized display or framed document of the 10 Commandments to be installed by January. Landry says the law isn't just for religious reasons, but also for, quote, common cultural heritage.
I hope and I pray that Louisiana is the first state to allow moral code to be placed back in the classrooms.
Critics argue the law violates the separation of church and state.
We learned the 10 Commandments. We went to Sunday school. And as I said on the Senate floor, if you want your kids to learn the 10 Commandments, you can take them to church.
The ACLU plans to sue, arguing this law will make kids of different religious beliefs feel unsafe, saying politicians have no business imposing their preferred religious doctrine on students and families in public schools. Under the law, the state funds won't be used for the commandment displays. They'll be paid for by donations.
Similar bills have been proposed in other states, but ran into legal challenges. Decades ago, the Supreme Court struck down a similar law in Kentucky, but now, if challenged, this Louisiana law will go before a more conservative Supreme Court. Andrea Fujii, ABC News, New York.
And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code on your screen to take part. We ask you, do you agree with Louisiana requiring the 10 Commandments to be displayed in classrooms? Okay, let's take a look. All right, it stayed pretty much the same since the last half hour. 77% of you say yes, and 23% of you say no, you do not agree. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. A brutal heat wave is still sweeping through the Midwest and Northeast. Temperatures are expected to get 10 to 25 degrees above average and soar up into the upper 90s and low 100s in several cities, including Detroit, where the city is under a heat advisory. Philadelphia is also expected to see temperatures in the triple digits. The heat wave is expected to continue on the East Coast and the Midwest through at least Friday. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. The time is now just about 6:40 on our Thursday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up. If you have lower back pain, we have a story just for you.
I'm ABC's Em Nguyen in Washington. We're tracking severe weather across the nation. The latest coming up.
And also coming up after the break, we'll take another look at your radar, followed by your marine forecast. And later on Sunrise, we'll take another look at the tropics and all the rain that is still to come our way. Well, good morning, Crossroads. If you're tuning in with us this morning, you're looking live in Cuero, and look at that. It is raining. You can see some of the raindrops on the camera, and if you can't see it, look at some of the darker areas like the trees where there's a little bit more contrast between that dark color and the light raindrops. But other than that, this morning it is still plenty warm, even with the rain, 78 degrees and still plenty humid. It should be 100% because it's raining out there, but the computer's telling me 94%, but it's still going to be plenty humid otherwise. You don't really worry about the humidity, you worry about the rain. So get those umbrellas ready, folks, because we got lots more showers to come our way for today. In fact, looking at your radar right now, you can see it is like, this proves that it is raining in Cuero, but there's still a couple isolated showers out there. Other than that, this morning, it looks like other than that, it's coming to Beeville and also coming north of Edna this morning. And there's also a couple other than that, and also on the immediate coast as well. But we got lots more to come our way today, folks. So make sure to get those umbrellas out. And the good news is that National Hurricane Center has downgraded their tropical storm warning to a small craft advisory because your winds are going to be gusting up to 35 knots instead of 45 to 50 knots, bringing you some choppy waters out there. So not the greatest day still to get out on the waters. But still, we have an alert day issued for today because we're expecting another 1 to 2 inches of rain, adding on top of the flooding potential we had yesterday. And we're going to take a look at that and more in just a few more moments. And that's it for weather. Now we're going to look at sports with Zach Brown.
After taking down the Florida Gators for the first time ever, the Texas A&M Aggies headed to the College World Series championship game. This behind Justin Lampkin's 5 innings of shutout baseball to go along with his 9 strikeouts in the ballgame. Lampkin is a graduate of Calallen High School, which is a Corpus Christi area school, pitching one of the biggest games of his life at the College World Series semifinal, and it helped lead the Aggies to their first ever championship series. The Aggies will take on the #1 ranked Tennessee Volunteers in a best-of-3 series. That series begins this Saturday in Omaha. With your 25 Sports Now, I'm Zach Brown.
Thank you, Zach. All right, we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And severe weather continues across the country. Here in South Texas, we face heavy rains and flooding from a tropical storm, and other parts of the country are railing against wildfires and record heat.
This morning, Tropical Storm Alberto expected to make landfall just south of Texas, slamming the southwestern Gulf Coast with heavy rainfall and flooding. The first named storm of the hurricane season, bringing nearly 10 inches of rain, gusty winds and isolated tornado threats to parts of Texas. Storm surge topping 4 feet south of Galveston Island.
It's definitely worse than I expected, or I'd have been gone, So I should have been more prepared.
In New Mexico, thunderstorms and a flash flood emergency as residents in Ruidoso, just south of Albuquerque, are still reeling from deadly wildfires.
We were engulfed in smoke. That scared me to death.
8,000 people evacuated, at least 2 people killed, and 1,400 homes and businesses burned to the ground.
Making this one of the most devastating fires in New Mexico's history.
Just west of there, firefighters trying to contain at least 12 active wildfires in California. And the relentless heat making matters worse. Dangerously high temperatures hitting 14 states across the Midwest and Northeast.
Just try to do whatever you can to stay out the heat wave.
Boston breaking its 100-year heat record with a high of 98 degrees. New York City activated its heat emergency plan for the first time this year, opening more cooling centers.
The scorching heat in the Northeast expected to last through the weekend. As for Tropical Storm Alberto, South Texas faces more flooding and mudslide threats with more heavy rainfall expected today. Emwin, ABC News, Washington.
The FEMA Disaster Recovery Center in Calhoun County is closing today. It's located at the public library and it will close at 7 p.m. Over $200,000 have been approved by FEMA for Calhoun County residents, and hundreds of residents have applied for assistance. If you still need help from FEMA, call 800-621-3362 or go to disasterassistance.gov. The last day to apply is July 16th. And here's a look at some of the top headlines in the Cuero Record. Adam Arroyo was appointed to the Cuero City Council at-large seat. Plus, the Cuero class of 1987 gets ready for a reunion. Read these stories and more at DeWittCountyToday.com. The time is now 6:46 on our Thursday morning. Still to come, authorities in Houston looking for 2 men they want to question in the death of a 12-year-old girl.
Well, good morning, Crossroads. I hope y'all enjoyed the rain that we had yesterday, because we got some more coming away today, and even some more tomorrow, and even some more as we go into this weekend. We're going to take a look at that in just a second, because looking at yesterday's rainfall totals here in Victoria County, we saw between 2 to 3 inches of rain accumulated. At the airport, they recorded 2.14 inches, but some areas along in Victoria County saw a little bit higher totals, up to 3 inches. But yesterday only got up to 78 degrees for your high temperature. That's your high temperature. That's because the rain-cooled air kind of cooled us off. But looking at your radar this morning, you could see, so we're still seeing a couple isolated scattered showers and some very, I don't think there's any thunderstorms out there this morning. It's all showers right now. But it looks like the heaviest stuff is coming to Beeville this morning. Also some coming north of Edna as well. And also a couple scattered stuff coming into Plashes and Port O'Connor in the next 5 to 10 minutes as well. In fact, you can zoom in, you can see coming to Port O'Connor real soon. So nothing real too bad though. They're all just a couple showers out there today. But we got, like I said, more showers coming our way today, and even some more coming our way tomorrow. And our rainfall total is going all the way until Saturday morning. We could be seeing another 1 to 2 inches for all of us here in the Crossroads. And that's why we have another alert day, because for today, we're going to have another additional 1 to 2 inches of rain that's going to be on top of the flooding rain that we just had yesterday. But I'm sure all of y'all are probably getting tired of the rain chances. But I'm sorry, folks, we have more rain coming our way this weekend. And why that is because after Tropical Storm Alberto makes landfall here, it's actually just made landfall, at least that's what the computer says. As we go into this weekend, yes, your eyes do not deceive you, another tropical circulation will begin developing in the Gulf. And we're going to take a look at all of that and more, though, in just a few more moments. Back to Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. If you're one of the more than 600 million people worldwide impacted by lower back pain, this story is for you. A new study found walking could help. The study, published Wednesday in the Lancet Journal, followed more than 700 Australian adults, mostly women in their 50s, who had recently recovered from an episode of low back pain. People in the study who walk regularly after having at least one episode of low back pain were pain-free, nearly twice as long as those who did not. In addition to the longer pain-free periods, the walking program reduced the amount of time taken off work by medical visits by half. Special prosecutors plan to portray Alec Baldwin's behavior as dangerous on the Rust movie set at his upcoming manslaughter trial. The actor's lawyers were given an outline into the evidence prosecutors intend to present in court next month. They say Baldwin repeatedly flouted safety protocols on the film set and claimed he displayed, quote, reckless behavior. On October 21st, 2021, Helena Hutchins, the movie cinematographer, died after being shot by a weapon Baldwin held. Baldwin has pled not guilty to involuntary manslaughter. Attorneys for Baldwin are asking the court to dismiss the indictment and accuse prosecutors of selective disclosure of evidence. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. Newly obtained documents show Boeing knows a bird strike can cause its 737 MAX airplanes to fill with smoke. Jocelyn Nungarai was found dead in a creek Monday. Authorities say the child was raped and strangled. Houston police have released surveillance photos showing Jocelyn with a man at a convenience store hours before her body was found. Jocelyn's mother says her daughter snuck out of their apartment Sunday night, something she was told to never do. Newly obtained documents show Boeing knows a bird strike can cause its 737 MAX airplanes to fill with smoke. The manufacturer sent warnings to Southwest and American Airlines about the issue in February. Boeing says it has 2 reports of this occurring. If a large bird hits one of the engines, it can cause oil to burn. Smoke and fumes from that burn may then enter the cabin through the plane's air conditioning system. The Federal Aviation Administration is aware of the problem and says it is working with Boeing on it. As the Pentagon faces military recruitment challenges, Congress is considering legislation that would change the Selective Services system. One proposal would automatically register men for the draft when they turn 18. The House passed the changes, but the Senate Armed Services Committee has yet to consider the measure. The other proposal would require women to register for the draft. That measure passed the Senate Armed Services Committee, but has not made it to the full Senate for consideration, or the House. The U.S. military has not activated a draft in more than 50 years. And if you missed episode 1 of Let's Grow Texas Ag, you can catch it tomorrow night at 10 p.m. on KXTS. And we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And now let's get a final look at our forecast with Parker. Parker, it looks like there's high water under that sunrise in Port Lavaca.
That's right. In fact, if you're tuning in with us this morning, look at the pretty sunrise coming over Port Lavaca and all over the coast this morning. But don't let that pretty sunrise deceive you. If you look real closely, you can see the water level is very high along Port Lavaca this morning. But as we approach high tide, and that high tide is going to be around 1 p.m. today, your water levels are probably going to rise even more because we're still going to have a bit of a breezy day today, and we're still going to have more rain. It looks like the sunrise just updated for me. Look at that, even brighter and even prettier. But other than that, still plenty warm out there this morning, sitting at 82 along the Media Coast this morning, but still plenty humid as well, sitting at 90% because there are still a couple scattered or isolated showers in our area right now this morning. And looking at your radar, you can see a couple of stronger stuff coming into Beeville this morning, probably here than actually probably raining right now, but also some strong stuff coming north of Edna as well. But other than that, you can see along this coast, a bunch of scattered, isolated, maybe real weak showers out there this morning. But going into today, it's going to be another pretty warm day today, only getting up to about 87 here in Victoria. But you can see along the southern half of Texas, you can see where it was a lot cooler because of all the rain-cooled air that we had yesterday. And in fact, look at northeast Texas, they're going to be in the warm, very warm 90s today because they didn't get any really any rain at all. But for here in the Crossroads today, here in Victoria, I'm thinking we're going to get up to about 87 here today, like I was just saying. But plenty more scattered showers to come our way today. Still going to be a bit breezy today with your gusts probably between 25 to 35 miles an hour inland, but along the Media Coast, y'all could still maybe see 35 to 40 mile an hour wind gusts for today. And that's why we have an alert day today, and that's mainly because we still going to have 1 to 2 more inches of rain possible here on the Crossroads as we go all the way into Thursday and Friday and even into Saturday morning. But that's going to be, that's adding on to the several inches of rain that we had yesterday, Carolina. Did you know that in Rockport, Carolina, we had 6 to 7 inches of rain?
Oh my goodness.
That is unbelievable.
I saw some photos and it looked incredibly overwhelming.
Yes, if you saw earlier in the show, Darius was down on the coast yesterday, and like the wind was battering him.
Port Lavaca, Magnolia Beach.
Yes, Port Lavaca, that's right. And you just saw on the camera out there on Port Lavaca, the water's still high, and we could probably still have maybe some more storm surge as we go into high tide this afternoon.
We definitely need to stay safe as these rains continue, and we encourage y'all to go to crossroadstoday.com to stay up to date on all our weather alerts, and be sure to check on your neighbors too.
That's right.
And join us tonight for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10.